The San Diego Prep Insiders Basketball Podcast is powered by Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Aaron!
What's up?
Aaron!
What's up?
Aaron, I got to say it 3 times so you appear. Because we just like 90s movies references and other things that really disconnect us from high school kids, despite the fact that we cover high school basketball. Division I playoffs.
Wait. Time out. It's an 80s reference. That's 1989.
Beetlejuice came out in 89?
Yeah, dude.
All right, fair enough. That technically is actually legally before my time. So good on you.
Impressive.
El Camino and Orange Glen are going to play. Mission Hills and SFC are going to play.
Yeah.
Anarchy is going to ensue because no matter what, all 4 of these teams provide an amazing plot line going into a final. We have Coastal League losses on losses there that could be completely wiped out by a second straight D1 title. We've got an Oregon State basketball commit who was not healthy for a large chunk of the season, who's got a chance to maybe a small chance? Small chunk of the season. I just like,
some important games.
Yeah. Got a chance to write a very fitting end to his career. We've got an El Camino team that has a senior class that was in this game a few years ago and did not come up with the win, so they've got a chance to right the ship. And we've got Orange Glen, who has almost played themselves out of title games in the last couple of years by doing too well and, putting a target on their back for threatening some foothills type stuff. And so no matter what, there's going to be a fun round of championships, but to get there, only 2 can make it. First game, El Camino, Orange Glen. How you see it?
This is...
And you can tell us your score predictions, because I know you already have those up.
This is a mirror match. These are 2 very evenly matched teams, 2 very evenly constructed teams. Both really undersized. Tallest player in the game is going to be Caden Palmer at all of 6'4". So basically, me running around on the court, I would be the starting center. Both teams rely heavily on one singular guard. Orange Glen more so, I think, than El Camino. Jalen Flanagan averaging 23 points, 8 boards, 4 assists a game. Damian Miller having statistically an amazing season. 16 points, 9.2 rebounds, 9.3 assists per game. He's averaging nearly a triple-double a game. I think this game breaks with whoever can control the boards. Outside of Damian Miller, Orange Glen's best rebounder is freshman Adam Nieves, who has one of the best motors in the county. I like senior DeAndre McNair to kind of control that matchup. He's done a really good job defensively. I mentioned him last week as being one of the potential, things that would get them over the hump in their second-round game, which, happened against Cathedral Catholic. And, of course, again, the home team, 1 seed for a reason. So I'm going to go with El Camino. I think I had it predicted 68-64. It's going to be a very, very close game, razor thin. But Jalen gets the best of his Coastal Elite teammate, Damian Miller.
Tommy and I both agree. Tommy's sending in his picks via satellite. It's a really good El Camino team that plays a little bit of everything. They play a little bit of defense. They play a little bit of offense. You can see them occasionally get the threes that they need. Like you said, mirror match, one of those things where you could flip that argument around and say Orange Glen does the exact same things, but I think that El Camino just executes at a little bit higher clip. And it's those kind of really finite splitting hairs is where you...
XFactors in this game, I think, for El Camino is going to be R.J. Davis. He's a junior. When he's hit more than 2 threes in a game, they're undefeated. When he's been quiet, that's when they've struggled. And for Orange Glen, I think the X factor is going to be the play of Adam Nieves, the freshman. When he scored in double figures, I think they've only lost 1 game or 1 or 2 games. He's been really kind of the barometer for that team. If he's out, energized, ready to go, they're tough.
There you go. There are the X factors for that round. Got an X factor for our other matchup, Mission Hills SFC?
I do. We talk about this matchup, you have a team with Santa Fe Christian that, for 2 years, they've been in this position. Last year they won. They actually beat El Camino in this position last year in the semifinals and won the D1 title. This year, same type of mentality, very physical defense, very precision-based, disciplined offense. And, when you look at it on paper, they don't have a premier Division I talent. And they haven't for years. But they still get the job done because they're well coached. And their players are no slouches. You've got guys like TJ Askew, Jack McCroskey, who are going on to extend their playing careers at the Division III level. And Matt Stevenson, who's been the heart and soul of this group, is another kid who's excelled on the football field and on the basketball court. Mission Hills has the 2 best athletes in the game. Warren Washington, who we've mentioned, and a guy who's going to Ohio State to play football. That does not happen very often in San Diego County.
We've talked a little bit about Chris Olave over the years.
Yes, just a
little bit.
A freak athlete. I'm going to go with Santa Fe Christian in this one. I think that if all their pieces are there, there's a question of health with a couple of guys, Matt Stevenson being one and Brooke Gray being the other. But I feel like they are going to be able to exploit the other matchups on the court where I think they have a distinct advantage. Guys like TJ Askew are going to have, mismatches on the floor, and I think guys like Jack McCroskey are going to have mismatches. The X factor for Mission Hills, I think, is going to be whether Warren Washington hunkers down and dominates in the post like he is capable of. He has a tendency at times to, want to step outside and start his D1 career a little early because he's going to be a 4 at the next level. He's going to be, a guy that faces guys up and shoots from the perimeter. I think he gets that a little early at times and kind of pulls himself away from where he can truly be dominant. When he's locked in, they're tough. But I'm going to pick Santa Fe Christian. This is another game that I think is going to be very close. Probably Santa Fe Christian decided in overtime.
Oh! First off, you don't get bonus points for picking an overtime game, but props to you, sir. That's bold. I'll say this. Tommy says Mission Hills, and I also say Mission Hills. I think that you bring up a really interesting point about who Warren Washington is at this level versus who he is at the next level. All I need to know is that he's really good and really dominant, and he's something that you just don't have an answer for.
Can I just also say that I think there are a lot of people in San Diego who have not given Warren Washington the credit that he deserves. Yeah. People think that, there are some people that didn't think that he was a Pac-12 caliber player, but he was offered by Utah, Cal, and Oregon State. This kid can play, and you guys got to put some respect with a K on his name.
You also bring up an interesting subpoint of him having Chris Olave to work with, and we talk about Olave being a wide receiver going to Ohio State. Everything I need to know about Chris Olave is the fact that the pinned tweet on his profile is him dunking. Like, this is a kid that is not dialing out after football season, just doing something else for the fun of it. This is a shark that smells blood in the waters, and he wants a ring. Okay. This is a tweet from December 4th, 2016 that he still has pinned, and it's a basketball tweet. I think that says a lot about the mentality of this is not a football first, everything else second kid. This is just an athlete who's out there to win, and when you have that kind of intensity and mentality, it only ratchets up the later you get into the playoffs.
They're going to need some big games, though, from supporting cast. Robert Legayan, I think, is the guy that I'm going to center in on for Mission Hills. Sophomore, had a really big game in the quarterfinals. If he provides anything that he provided last round, I think Mission Hills will probably win in that fashion, but I'm still sticking with Santa Fe.
Deal. He says Santa Fe. The other two of us say Mission Hills. What do you say, San Diego? Tweet at us, at SD Prep Insider, at Mr. CPED, at Full Time Hoops 1. I like that because we'll end on that one because only one of each of these teams will be moving on to the Division I finals where there will be one champion.
And remember, these games are held Tuesday.
These first round are Tuesday. I get it. Before you even start tweeting at me, El Camino, you want me there. I know. There has been a lot of coverage for you, though, on SD Prep Insider lately, so maybe.
Yeah.
unless you really aggressively tweet at me, in which case I'll feel like I have no option.
And these, they get to play the championship in a big boy gym.
Yeah, shout out.
In a real gym. Oh my God, you're a real boy.
All right. On that note, we will say goodbye, and we will see you for the finals.